footage of the Pentagon after terrorists crashed American Airlines Flight 77 into the building, killing 184 people. And you know, we talk a lot about the World Trade Center, but we can't forget what happened at the Pentagon that day. The recovery and cleanup effort after the September 11th attacks elicited really the largest response of emergency and rescue personnel from across the entire country. And the Albuquerque Fire Department was among those that provided manpower to clean up the rubble, and we're so grateful for that. APD firefighters Gabe, Criswell, and Eric Gonzales were part of the team that helped us and that went to the Pentagon and really took care of our country from across the nation. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
You know, true heroes. Really, it's nice to have real heroes on the set with us on a day where we remember something so detrimental to our country that we can never forget. And you know, you watched your New York brothers march into the towers. You watched them attempt a rescue mission. And as first responders, I always want to know, how did you two process what was happening? I mean, how do you process that?
Well, for us, or for me anyway, it was, you know, when you first saw it on TV, you're like, you know, it's like, what's going on?
Right.
You know, it's kind of so surreal that you're not sure, when you first see that, you're not sure what's going on.
Right.
So,
well, you know, I mean, do you think that when they went in there that they knew the reality of what they were facing?
Absolutely not, because they had never had a building collapse on them ever. So this was the first for New York and United States.
I think that their probably response was just to help. I mean, you know, that's what they're trained for, and that's what their mindset was, is just to get in there and help the people that were in the buildings.
And that's what's so amazing, and that's why I say heroes, because you're doing something, you're thinking completely unselfishly. It's not about what could happen or what could happen to me. It's, I've got to protect somebody, and that's my first mission. So when we think about disasters of this magnitude, I mean, how do you even prepare for something like that?
It's just training. I mean, that's, you know, they train all the time for it. You know, obviously, you don't get training for this type of disaster, but, you know, you just rely on your training at that point, and that kind of kicks in and it takes over.
And completely selfless.
We do monthly training. We deploy to other states. We do a lot of training to prepare for something close, but not necessarily this magnitude.
Of this magnitude. Well, how were you recruited to go to the Pentagon? How did that happen?
Well, so we were part of the team that went, the New Mexico Task Force 1. We were already part of that team.
Okay.
And then they got called from FEMA to get sent. And so once they got that call, then all the members of the team are notified, and they're like, you know, get your bags together, we're going.
And what did that feel like for you? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Or were you like, you know, we just talked about being in the zone. Were you in the zone and you said, we've got a mission, we've got to make it happen?
Well, I was a rookie driver at Fire Station 6.
Wow.
And so I was anxious when I saw the towers. I said, wow, what can I do? I was anxious. I wanted to help. I was like, what? We need to do something. And then about 3 minutes after the second tower dropped, I got a phone call from FEMA.
Wow.
Pack your bags, we're leaving.
That was your answer.
And that was kind of my feeling as well. I think everybody in the country wanted to help.
They
wanted to do something, but most people didn't get the opportunity. And I just felt really grateful that we had a chance to help.
To do that. And when you arrived, what were your first impressions?
I couldn't believe my eyes.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time on the tarmac in Arlington, and then when we finally got there, it was dark. It was at night, so they had lights on it, and you couldn't believe the huge, massive hole in the Pentagon.
What you were seeing. I mean, in fact, you know, you say you can't believe what you see. Sometimes you need to see those visuals to be reminded of that magnitude. Let's take a look at some photos that were actually taken by you, Gabe, actually post-attack. So tell us what we're looking at.
This is the first morning this is when we're first arriving. So this is about dawn.
Okay.
And you can see where the attack was. You can see the explosion, the big hole in the Pentagon.
Oh my! Now what is this?
This is on the other side of the first ring, right?
Yes.
And this is a blow through. This is the hole that was actually.
That's where the nose of the plane came through, and actually on the other side of that, the nose of the plane was still there.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's bone chilling really when you see that and you know the reality of what that meant.
Right. This is one of our structural specialists, and I assume right now what he's doing is going through and kind of figuring out what we need to do. what we need ashore, what needs to be done in the building.
That's right behind him is where the pile was. That's where they were searching for bodies. Right there is inside the Pentagon, and if you see all the lumber, that's holding up, literally holding up the building, the 5 stories above it.
All the supports that got blown out, that's what's in place of the supports.
And we had to build those to make sure that it was safe for our teams to go in.
And to be, and to see this firsthand, my goodness, I have to thank you for capturing these images so we could really understand what you saw and what that was like in that moment. Now, what is this?
It's the same, it's more of the same. All of this is just different type of shoring. You can kind of see up on the top, well, it's kind of gone, but all this with the wood is just shoring. Okay. Inside of that, you can see that curved part.
Yes.
That's actually a column that's blown out. Like, that's actually one of the columns.
Yeah, it was just torn to bits. So it's not supporting anything, so we had to build supports for the building.
Now, this is all within that 24-hour period that you're looking at all of these, or was this?
This is throughout the time we were there.
Okay, and how long were you actually there for?
We were there for about 6 days.
Yeah. 6 days, and throughout those 6 days, I would imagine the search continued for the missing people and for the bodies, and that had to be. Just being there firsthand for that in itself had to really affect you.
And that's kind of in conjunction. The shoring was happening while the search was going on.
Now, what is this that we're looking at?
That's
the metal frame that they built, and they're going to put it into the left side of the building because there's a huge gap in the building.
Right.
So they put that frame in to support the floors above it.
Gosh, and just being there during this effort. You said you wanted to do something. You felt like, I wish there was something I could do.
Yes.
And so it had to give you a real sense of just patriotic sense and a feeling of pride to be a part of this, I would imagine, as well.
It was.
Oh, for sure.
And now what are we looking at here?
We're looking at our base camp, and that was right on the lawn of the Pentagon, right next to where it happened.
Now, were you both working 24/7 in this cleanup effort?
When we first got there, we weren't. When we first got there, it was they split it up into 12-hour shifts, and so it was just J shifts for us. The time leading up to it, getting prepared to leave, we worked almost around the clock, getting ready to leave.
That picture just exemplifies the exhaustion and how drained emotionally, mentally, and physically everybody must have been. And I thank you so much for your service and what you did for our country. I think it was really special that you could be there and be a part of that history and do something special. And I know a lot of people are wondering, where are you stationed here in Albuquerque?
Well, I just got promoted, so I got moved out of the station I was at.
Congratulations.
And now I'm in a support division.
Support division. Okay, and what about you?
I'm in the plans checking division of Fire Marshal's office in the Plaza del Sol building.
Fabulous.
So we go over there.
So I would want you to take care of me. I trust you guys completely. I'm very, very thankful for you. Really, Gabe, Eric, thank you so much for being here today and sharing this really powerful story with us and for everything you did for our country. And we know that if we're ever in crisis, we've got 2 really special people right here in Albuquerque to watch over us.
Thanks for having us here.
Thank you. We watch you every morning. And big shout out to PC guys over there. They're watching us right now.
Hey guys, thanks for watching every day. We'll try to keep you good. Next time you come in, we'll try to feed you.
Oh, thank you.
We usually have really good food. And still ahead, we're healing after 9/11. Thanks, guys.